Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? और 12:10 पे स्टार्ट करते हैं, ठीक है?
गुड इवनिंग सर।
गुड इवनिंग। बस स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, बस 2-3 मिनट। ओके, गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन।
गुड
लेट्स
आफ्टरनून
स्टार्ट।
सर।
गुड आफ्टरनून। कैसे हो भाई सबके सब?
बढ़िया सर, आप कैसे हो सर?
बढ़िया बढ़िया
सब बढ़िया सर, आप कैसे हैं?
बढ़िया।
गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
गुड आफ्टरनून। यहाँ पे किसी किसी को शायद मैं जानता हूँ ऑलरेडी। ठीक है। ओके, सो पहले मैं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन देता हूँ, फिर आप सब तो मैं ये नहीं कहूँगी कि लाइक एक एक करके इंट्रोडक्शन दो। मैं ये रखूँगा कि लाइक थोड़ा बहुत पूछूंगा, थोड़ा सा बहुत इंटरेक्शन रखेंगे, क्योंकि मेरे को ये चीज़ सही रहता है। ठीक है, कि अगर इंटरेक्शन हो तो बढ़िया रहेगा। आप जिस तरीके से इंटरेक्ट करना चाहें। ठीक है। सो मेरा नाम अमरजीत सिंह है। मैं सिक्योरिटी में पढ़ाता हूँ एज अ सिक्योरिटी एनालिस्ट। मैं दो चीज़ें पढ़ाता हूँ, एथिकल हैकिंग एंड मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन पेन टेस्टिंग। ठीक है। आज का जो सेशन है वो हमारा पूरा सा पूरा साइबर सिक्योरिटी से रिलेटेड है। ठीक है, और एथिकल हैकिंग से रिलेटेड है। आई
ओके
नो
सर।
सबने वेबिनार इसलिए ज्वाइन किया होगा कि कुछ ना कुछ उनके मन में डाउट होंगे। ठीक है। तो पहले तो मैं ये चीज़ जानना चाहता हूँ कि आप में से कौन कौन से आईटी सेक्टर्स में हैं, ऑलरेडी आईटी सेक्टर में है। आप अपना हैंड रेज करके भी बता सकते हो, किसी तरीके से भी आप बता सकते हैं कि भाई मैं आईटी सेक्टर में हूँ।
Sir, I'm not from IT sector. I'm from science background.
ओके, यू आर फ्रॉम साइंस बैकग्राउंड। ओके।
Oh.
Okay, so usually I think many of you are not from IT sector. Okay, no problem. Okay, दर्शना, आप कॉमर्स स्ट्रीम से, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। अभी देखिए एक चीज जरा स्टार्ट करते हैं। साइबर सिक्योरिटी से पहले जरा ये चीज समझते हैं कि भाई स्ट्रीम से कोई इस तरीके का प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कि अगर कोई कॉमर्स में से है, ह्यूमैनिटीज में से या फिर साइंस में से है, तो आगे वो साइबर सिक्योरिटीज में अपना बना नहीं सकता है। ठीक है, अगर कोई भी किसी भी सेक्टर में से है, ठीक है, किसी भी स्ट्रीम में से है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। अगर आपका पैशन है इस चीज में, अगर आप इस चीज में आगे चीज करना चाहते हैं, तो बहुत बार ऐसे हैं, बहुत ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स भी होते हैं। सर योर वॉइस इज ब्रेकिंग, एक मिनट में हेडफोन चेंज कर देता हूँ अगर वॉइस का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है तो। Okay. Now my voice is clear and audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So लेट्स स्टार्ट। तो यूजली जो भी इस चीज़ में स्टीम पे नहीं है, जैसे अगर आप टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड से नहीं है, ठीक है, अगर आपका पैशन है साइबर सिक्योरिटी में, तो आप उस पैशन को फॉलो आउट कर सकते हो। ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम अगर आपकी अगर आती भी है तो यूजली इस चीज़ में रहती है कि अगर आपका कॉमर्स है या फिर आप कुछ और स्ट्रीम में से कोई डिग्री कर रखी है। ठीक है, लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल कि आप बी कॉम कर रहे हो।
सर मैं बीकॉम कर रहा हूँ सर।
हाँ, तो अभी आप बी कॉम कर रहे हो, बट आपको साइबर सिक्योरिटी में क्यों इंटरेस्ट है? आप कैसे इंटरेस्ट बना हुआ है आयुष?
यस सर, इंटरेस्ट सर बहुत है, क्योंकि साइबर क्राइम्स जो हो रहे हैं सर, उसको रोकने के लिए तो कोई ना कोई बंदा चाहिए ना सर।
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir. So please be clear.
Okay, so my voice is breaking. Okay. Okay, so everyone, can you just tell me if my voice is clear or not?
Yes, sir. I can hear you
यस सर।
properly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
यस सर, क्लियर
It's
वॉइस।
breaking, sir, somewhat.
I think it's because of your internet. That's why. ओके, सो यूजली जो कॉमर्स स्ट्रीम्स होते हैं या फिर साइंस स्ट्रीम नहीं होता, आईटी सेक्टर नहीं होता, ठीक है, यू स्टिल कैन परस्यू योर साइबर सिक्योरिटीज में आप जा सकते हो। ठीक है, अब रीज़न ये होता है, हमें लगता है कि लाइक कॉमर्स स्ट्रीम है तो इस तरीके से नहीं हो पाएगा, बट स्टिल हम इन सब चीज़ों में जा सकते हैं। ठीक है, एक मिनट जरा। Okay. Okay, I'm switching to English. Okay, so that everyone will be comfortable. I might not be fluent in English. Okay, so let me switch to English. And then I think you have asked a question if we can get an e-certificate. Yes, we will provide e-certificate. Okay, you may speak English. Okay, I'm speaking in English. Yes, we will get an e-certificate. Okay, let's start. Okay, so whoever you from commerce stream or you can say commerce background still can pursue for cybersecurity or still can pursue in cybersecurity. But if you're thinking about career in cybersecurity, you should have one IT background degree like BCA or something like BTech, because it's comfortable in your interviews and in companies, because companies ask if you have any certificate or if you have any degree in IT sector. Okay, so it will be comfortable if you try to pursue any degree in IT maybe, okay, related to science. So that will help you in pursuing more in your career. Okay, so let's start with one of my PPT.
So without BCA, we cannot pursue, sir.
Without BCA, you can pursue, but think like that. If you are given if I'm having a company, okay, in IT sector, I will just consider more. I will consider, or I will just take an option, but I will consider a person who is having a BC or BTech degree as compared to a person who is having a BCom degree. So it's all about having an like we can say it's all about preferences. Okay, so IT degrees, these are all preferable if you're having a career in cybersecurity. So that will be helpful if you are pursuing a degree in this kind of thing like BCA, BTech. Okay.
So BCom is not eligible for, sir, cybersecurity.
No, BCom is not that much of like, I will not say that BCom is bad in cybersecurity, but if you say that I'm just doing BCom and I'm side by side doing these cybersecurity courses, that will be helpful.
Sir, if I will prove that our knowledge and skill in company, that it will hire now.
Yeah, so usually if you pursue IT certificates and gain some experience, maybe do some bug bounty or these kind of things, that would be helpful. Then they will judge. Usually they will judge you by your experience, your certificates in cybersecurity or in IT sectors. So if you are doing a BCom, you can just pursue your BCom, okay, and then you can do these IT certificates like global certifications, like in cybersecurity. If we talk about Red Hat, you can do RSCSA, CH by EC councils. Okay, so these kind of certificates will be helpful. So uh, the company will think about taking you. Okay.
Sir,
Okay,
if
that's
I will,
Mhm.
if I will put, sir, try hack me labs, I solved that link. It will gain the knowledge, no? Try hack me linked.
Yeah, TryHackMe certifications is valuable, but as up for beginners. Okay, so if you have, but TryHackMe, these kind of thing will be not considered as experience. Okay, so TryHackMe, you can pursue your rank, you can hire your ranks, but that will be not considered as experience, because to be honest with you, TryHackMe's labs have walked through, so they will see if you have gained knowledge from them. Okay, but if you didn't gain knowledge from these kind of thing, that will not be helpful. Okay, so completing cybersecurity course, Darshana, it totally depends on if you are from where you are doing this cybersecurity course, because in Craw we have 12 modules, and totally depends. And
Sir, next year I will purchase, sir. I will come on Delhi and purchase the course.
okay, that will be nice. But are you sure in which year you are in BCom right
Sir,
now?
second year. Next year it will graduate. Sir.
Okay, you will complete your graduation next year. I will just suggest you that try to, maybe you can say, pursue or read about cybersecurity things, like how Linux work, what is networking, kind of small topics. So it will be helpful.
Sir, I am doing, sir, now cybersecurity course, that basic Linux fundamental, that how Linux work, that much.
Okay, that's nice. That's not. I think you have so many doubts. So please ask. Yes, that's not. There will be a demo class. You can. Okay, you can ask for demo. You can.
So is there placement in cross security, sir?
Yes, because your resume will be considered. They will ask you to get a resume, and yes, that placement is there.
So after 1 year diploma course, we will get the certificate, and then you will get resume preparation and interview preparation is there, sir.
Yes, there are interview preparation, because the technical faculties, they will just ask you question usually asked in interviews. Okay, and also like help you in cracking the interview, like in HR round, how you will, what you will say, what are the question they will put up.
सर इंटर्नशिप भी होता है अपने यहाँ?
हाँ, होता तो है,
ओके सर।
क्योंकि आपने शायद उसमें भी देखा होगा, क्या कहते हैं, अगर आप क्रॉस सिक्योरिटीज के उसमें जाएंगे तो वहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप चीज होती है।
ओके सर।
ओके,
सर आप डिवाइसेस भी देते हो क्या?
डिवाइसेस ऐसे घर के लिए तो नहीं, लेकिन हाँ दिखाते हैं।
ऐसे सर नहीं देते हो क्या, आप यूज कर सको क्या लैब वगैरह में?
हाँ, वैसी चीजें, मतलब ऐसा आपको जब हम ऑनलाइन क्लासेस होती हैं, या फिर ऑनलाइन तो नहीं, ऑफलाइन क्लासेस होती है, तो हम डिवाइसेस दिखाते हैं सामने, आप यूज कर सकते हो। बट किस तरीके से फंक्शनैलिटी आप उसको यूज कर देंगे, तो वो सब चीजें होती हैं। बट वो घर के लिए नहीं है कि लाइक कि आप घर जाके उस चीज को ट्राई कर सकें। ओके दर्शना,
सर टूल्स तो देते हो ना सर, ऐसे हैकिंग बैकपैक्स देते हो ना उसमें?
हेलो
दिख
सर।
रहा
हाँ, एक मिनट, ठीक है आयुष। हाँ, टूल्स वूल्स देते हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर ऑलरेडी सब चीज़ें प्रोवाइडेड आपको प्रोवाइड की जाती हैं। हम टेलीग्राम हो गया या फिर कोई ना कोई ग्रुप्स बना के हम आपको प्रोवाइड कर देते हैं सारी चीज़ें, टूल्स और इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में।
ओके सर।
और सबसे बढ़िया जरिया आपका गिटहब है।
ओके सर। सर रेज्यूम प्रिपेयर करके सर आप फॉरवर्ड करते हो क्या खुद से? हम सबको बनाना पड़ता है रेज्यूम?
ऑब्वियसली बात है, आपको अगर कंपनी में जाना तो रिज्यूमे भी आपको पूछना करना पड़ेगा।
तो फॉरवर्ड तो आप सब भी ना करते हो सर?
हाँ, ये सब चीज़ें हम ही करवाते हैं।
सब बता भी सकते हो ना सर कैसे रेज्यूम बनता है नहीं बनता है ये?
हाँ, ये सब चीज़ें बताई जाती है। जब आप रेज्यूमे बनाते हो तो HR ये सब चीज़ें देखती हैं। आप HR के पास जाएंगे, सब चीज़ें आपको बताई जाएगी कि लाइक किस तरीके से रेज्यूमे बनेगा, क्या चीज़ें आपको चेंजेस करने, सब चीज़ें। ओके, आयुष आपके भी
Okay, sir.
डाउट्स पे आते हैं. दर्शना, okay, how much Dashna, in between I will be switch to Hindi whenever necessary. Okay, so how much salary do we expect, sir? It totally depends on what in which department or which sector you are pursuing or you are giving interview. If you are giving in cloud security, okay, okay, if we are talking about cloud security, if you have knowledge, there are chances of monthly 30,000. Okay, okay, so in pen testing it totally depends on how much you have basic knowledge and skills. It totally depends on that, but monthly it's all upon it totally depends on you. So basically like 25 to 30,000 monthly and more if you have knowledge in that sector. Like if we talk about web pen testers, they can companies can also hire on 40,000 if you have experience.
Sir, what is basic questions for pressure in cybersecurity or a VAPT?
Mhm. Okay, Sachin, what?
Basic interview questions for a cybersecurity analyst or a VAPT.
Okay, so usually if we talk about VAPT, they will gonna ask about. Oh, okay, Sachin, you are asking what are the questions they can ask in VAPT?
Yeah, for interview questions, what kind of a question they can ask in the interview as a security analyst or a VAPT?
Okay, usually they can ask on a question on networking question, OSI models type. Okay, two-factor authentication. What is two-factor authentication? What is two-factor? Okay, cybersecurity and CIA. They can ask.
As I'm a graduate from science background and I'm now pursuing my cybersecurity course from Mumbai,
Okay.
NetTech India. So there's not a they are teaching basic questions or topics, not in that depth.
No, usually in VAPT they will ask you question in depth because there are so many students. They usually face these questions on cryptography, on CIA, or on OWASP top 10. These type of. Okay, so
Okay.
the syllabus in cybersecurity is totally depend on like in networking. We're gonna please tell about the syllabus.
सर साइबर सिक्योरिटी और इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी अलग अलग चीजें हैं या एक ही कंसीडर किया जाएगा?
साइबर सिक्योरिटी और इंफॉर्मेशन
सिक्योरिटी
वैसे मेरे हिसाब से तो ये है कि ओके, सो यूजली तो ये डिफरेंट है क्योंकि एक्चुअली में क्या होता है साइबर सिक्योरिटी में हम डिवाइसेस को अगर हम बात करें तो डिवाइसेस की सिक्योरिटी
यस सर.
डिवाइसेस की सिक्योरिटीज का रहता है और if you talk about the information security, we're actually talking about the confidential data.
ओके सर.
Okay, so about the syllabus in cybersecurity is all about like. Okay, so I will explain the syllabus afterward about, after the PPT. Okay, in last minute I will just show you what we will teach in cross security, all the 12 modules. I will tell you all about that. Okay. Okay, let's start with the PPT, and if we talk about the doubts, that will be covered in afterward the PPT. Okay. Okay, let's start with the cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Okay, we
Sir,
talk
will
about
we get any PDF?
what, Sachin?
We will get any PDF, sir, from your side after
Uh,
session.
I will give you a PDF.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the PPT. In the PPT, we will talk about what cybersecurity is, what type of hackers. Okay. Okay, so okay, so usually, so these people, this PPT. If we talk about the hacking, cybersecurity, these are this kind of thing. If we talk about the ethical hacking part, okay, according to me, hacking is done by what is hacking? How we can hack a person? Can anybody tell?
Sir, legal two ways to hack, sir, legally and unlegally, sir.
Okay, so yes, legally and illegal if we talk about, but it's totally depend on right now, or you can say in today's time, it's all on the online. Okay, so online, there are so many frauds going on. There are so many.
Yes, sir.
Things are
Okay.
connected to the internet. That things we can hack.
Okay, so there's one person who says that there's a legal hacking and illegal hacking. Okay, can somebody tell me what's the difference?
So legal,
Mhm.
so legal is that we can get permission and get uh, a security of that company, and illegal is that without permission we can hack that computer, that some server of that company.
With written permission, we can hack only. If we don't have written permission, then we can't hack officially.
Okay, so legal permission from whom?
From the company owner.
Okay, but if we talk about hacking about in a legal way, don't you think that hacking means to access into someone? Why that person will give you access? If we say that we are hacking your system, while that person will give you an access, why will they give you a permission? If I'm saying to someone, okay, if I saying to someone, let's take example of Karan, okay, if I'm saying to Karan that I have your PC, I will just hack into your system, so will that person give me a permission to hack into my system? No, they will not give you the permission. But we don't say we are hacking into your system. What we will usually say, we are pen testing into your system. We are doing a penetration testing. Okay, so usually if we talk about penetration testing is okay. Have you heard about this term, penetration testing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is penetration testing?
Sir, testing of vulnerabilities.
Okay, testing of vulnerabilities. Now, what is vulnerability?
Sir, loopholes, weak points of website applications.
yeah, loophole, flaws, weakness in a, that so many things we can find a vulnerabilities. Okay. Okay, so vulnerability can be in a device. Okay, maybe like firewall, they are, if they are not configured well, in a network. Okay, in an application can be a web application, mobile application. Okay, so there are several ways. If we talk about a company, if we talk about an organization, we don't say we are hacking into your system. We will usually say we are penetration testing into your system, so that they don't consider it as a illegal way. Okay, so if we say that we will ask for a permission, yeah, they will give you a permission. They will give you a NOC type of things. Okay, this legal uh, permission, legal papers will be signed from you. Okay, if you're doing a penetration testing, if you do a pen testing, then these kind of things are considered. Okay, so when we're talking about the legal way of hacking, we are actually talking about a penetration testing. We are not saying that we will hack into your system and we will just do a pen testing. That will be a wrong way to say this thing. Okay, so yeah, so let's get back to the topic. If we talk about hacking, okay, it is all done on online. Okay, so next is, these are the table of content we will talk about, like introduction, meaning of word cyber, major security problems, need of cybersecurity, overview of hacking, type of hackers, what are hackers, okay, why hackers hack, solution, things to do after hacked, how to prevent hacking. Okay, let's talk about the introduction, cybersecurity. Okay, so I already told you that if you talk about the term cyber, that's mean online. Okay, so these kind of things, like if we talk about like hacking, we already know there are so many type of doing hacking or getting into a system. So some people use phishing attacks, some of some find vulnerabilities in web application websites. Okay, but if we see a common pattern in these things, they're all the things around online. Okay, so cybersecurity means that if we securing the online platforms, online devices which are there to secure our systems. Okay, now we already talk about. Some major security problems are virus, hackers, malware, Trojan horse, password cracking. Does anybody know what is malware? What malware is? Oh, okay, what is malware? Does anyone know?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Devendra.
Sir, insecure programs which is dangerous for our system.
Okay. Anybody else? What is malware? You can just tell what malware is. You will definitely. According to you guys, what is malware?
Some malware is some type of virus or payloads.
Sir, malware is a malicious software and program.
Okay, so malware is, you can say, payload. Okay, a script or an application which is used to do malicious things. Okay, malware. In the earlier times, they used to say that malware is a combination of malicious plus software. Okay, now if we talk about malicious, malicious can be anything. Okay, they can infect your system, corrupt your system, maybe do encryption is in your confidential data. Okay, so these things are malware. Now if we talk about malware, why malware is a problem in security. If your system is, if your data is encrypted, if your system get corrupted, then there will be problem. Okay, so malware is considered a major problem. Has anybody heard about ransomware attack in AIMS?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
On Tata,
Yeah. So
recent accident.
what is ransomware?
They used to lock our system and ask for the money.
Yeah,
Sir, encrypt our data and ask for money.
yeah, that's great. Okay, so ransomware is ransomware is if we talk about ransomware, ransom means money, or you can say money. So usually in ransomware, the data is encrypted, and the hacker usually asks for money to decrypt. Okay, they will usually give you a key to decrypt the data. So these kind of thing is malicious. These kind of things are malicious for the system. Okay, if we talk about the Trojan horse, these are Trojan horse or virus. These are type of malwares. Okay, now if we talk about the malwares, you usually uh, inject in your system and they spread in your system. Okay, there's virus, there's worm, there's Trojan horse. Now we talk about ransomware. There's so many different types of malware that is there to hack into your system or to get into your system. Okay, now password cracking. If we talk about password cracking. Okay, if we talk about password cracking, has anybody heard about this term brute force?
Yes, sir.
What is brute force?
Yes, sir.
So it is just like a sir OTP bypass, sir. That
Okay,
OTP come and we bypass that with the help of brute force attack.
okay. That's not what brute force is to usually, because there's no OTP bypass. But if we log into a system, let's take example of Instagram. Okay, if I know someone's username, I will just use a word list or a dictionary or a list of words. Okay, different type of words that will be used in that attack. Okay, that will be used in instead of password. They will try to use one by one. They will use that list, and if there's a successful login, then that is called password cracking or brute force. That is usually done on login pages, port. Okay, ports like port 21, FTP, SSS, telnet. These type kind of ports we use for password cracking. Okay, so yeah, or brute forcing. Okay, so that's why we consider this password cracking or brute forcing as a major security problem, because if the password is weak, okay, if we get into someone's system by FTP or if we do a remote access by SSH or telnet, then that will be a problematic for that company or organization, because we are into their system somehow by any port, and that is a vulnerability. That is a major vulnerability over there. Okay, so this is why these kind of things are considered. There are so many other type of security problems, but these kind of are these things are usually seen over a time. Okay, next we will talk about need of cybersecurity. Does anybody has any thing like to say about why do you guys think we need cybersecurity?
Yes, sir. Can I talk in Hindi?
Okay, you can, no problem.
सर जैसे ना अपने कंट्री में क्राइम होता है,
Mhm.
फिजिकल क्राइम, तो पुलिस की जरूरत पड़ती है। वैसे ही जब साइबर क्राइम होता है तो हमको साइबर सिक्योरिटी या फिर साइबर सिक्योरिटी वालों की जरूरत पड़ती है।
Okay, that's great, because like you say that
Sir, can I?
sure, Sachin.
Yeah. So because nowadays everything is being online from banks, shopping, credit card. So we need to protect the things that we upload on the internet. Well, hackers can hack everything easily. To protect that things, we need a cyber security.
Okay, yeah, that's great, because all the things are nowadays are on or are online. So yeah, we actually need a cybersecurity, because in cybersecurity we are actually securing these online platforms, okay, controlling these cyber attacks. Okay, so usually to control these cybersecurity attacks, to reduce the risk of these vulnerabilities or problems, that's why we need cybersecurity. Okay, uh, does anybody heard any news or anything from their maybe relatives, family, friends, that they got fraud, or they got maybe we kind of heard these kind of things, that someone just took our money, somebody just
Yes, sir. It's happened with my brother-in-law before 2-3 years ago.
yeah, because these kind of things are usually happening. That's why we in India, if we talk about India and other nations, they have cyber cells. Okay, they have strengthened their cybersecurity programs. They have strengthened their cybersecurity because they considered that we need these kind of things. Okay, that's why we actually need a cybersecurity, because all the things, all our devices, even the transactions we are all doing on online. So that's why everyone is kind of fear that if these kind of things are happening, if frauds are happening over a period of time, then that will be problematic. Okay. Okay, let's talk about hack and hackers. Okay, usually if we talk about hacking, hacking is usually accessing someone's system, okay, and getting their confidential data. If we talk about confidential data can be your username, password, your your address, maybe some card details. These kind of things are actually considered as confidential data. So we actually what we usually do, we actually kind of these kind of things are considered a hack, and the person who usually hack is a hacker. So does anybody know different type of hackers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me.
Sir, blue hat. Sir, first time to white hat and blue, black hat, white hat and gray hat.
Okay, white hat, gray hat, and black hat. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so who are white hat?
Sir, uh, uh, white hat are genuine hackers, sir.
So can I?
Yeah, anybody can say.
सर
Yeah,
मैं
white hat.
हिंदी में बोलता हूँ.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, Devendra.
हाँ सर, वाइट हैट सर हैकर वो होते हैं जो परमिशन लेके सिस्टम को हैक करते हैं उनको सिक्योर करने के लिए, और ब्लैक
Okay,
हैट हैकर वो होते हैं जो कि इलीगल एक्टिविटीज करते हैं, और सर ग्रे हैट हैकर वो होते हैं जो सिर्फ दूसरी मतलब सिर्फ मजे के लिए काम करते हैं, न तो इनको किसी को नुकसान पहुंचाते हैं, सिर्फ अपने एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए अपने स्किल को यूज करते हैं बस, और अभी सीख रहे होते हैं, वो प्रो नहीं होते हैं.
okay. Anybody else has to say something?
No, sir.
Okay, so usually black hat is these hackers which do illegal things. Okay, white hat is ethical hackers. Okay, they usually hack into system with permission. Kind of we talk about the penetration testing. Gray hat is combo of black and white hatters. White hat hackers. Okay. Okay, so if we talk about type of hacker, there are different type of hackers. There are more to it. We don't have blue hat or red hat. Okay, we have suicide hackers, cyber terrorist, hacktivist, script kiddies. Okay, So there are more type of hackers, but we usually consider these three as common head hackers. Okay, so as we talk about white hat, these are all who are professional penetration tester who are into ethical hacking. Okay, and if we talk about black hat, they are usually we can say criminals who do illegal stuff. If we talk about brigadier hat, they're actually you can say blend or combo of black hat and white hat. Okay, so let me give you an example. If I'm doing a vulnerability test on a website, okay, I don't have permission of testing that website. Let's take an example of some institute. Okay, XYZ institute. I'm doing a vulnerability test and I find a vulnerability of SQL injection. Okay, you can see SQLi, and I got a data. I get into their system somehow. So now I have two options, okay, or you can say two parts. I can tell them that your university has this vulnerability, or else what I can do, I can that use that data for myself. Okay, so I can do white hat. I can be a white hat by telling them that this is your vulnerability, please patch that vulnerability. Now if we talk about vulnerability, patching means to repair, or to, or you can say just repair that vulnerability. Okay, so I can by this I can be a white hat by telling them to patch a vulnerability, or I can be a black hat by using that username password for myself. Okay, why hackers hack?
Sir, if we go to
Yes,
the university to tell them that we use their website to test that is that weak or not, but they can take action on us now without permission. We did that, so
okay,
without
so
permission we can't do no. They
yeah,
can take action on us also.
okay, so yeah, Sachin, they can take action, but usually if you find a vulnerability, you tell a institute, a company, they usually take it as a good way. They don't see it as a wrong way that you're testing our website. Because if I tell you you have you lack in this skill, what you will say that who are you to tell me, or you try to upgrade that thing. So usually if I tell a institute or company, if they are good, they are they think that we should upgrade this thing, then they will just consider your vulnerability as a good thing and they try to patch it. And maybe some and sometimes they maybe give you a reward, or maybe uh, put you in a hall of fame, these kind of things. Okay, so yeah, so it totally depend on the institute or company. If they are ready to upgrade, then you will be good to go. So you can just tell them. Yes, in some cases that can happen. They can just tell that who are you to test this thing. If these kind of things are going, so you can just change to bug bounty. Okay, you can do this kind of thing in bug bounty platforms like HackerOne or Bugcrowd. So they will give you permission to do this thing. So if you think that if I just find a vulnerability in a institute, in an organization, and they will maybe they will just say something that why you are hacking without permission. So you can just change to these kind of things, Bugcrowd and HackerOne. They have programs on vulnerability assessment. They will tell you to find vulnerability in a website, in an application. You can just switch to that. That will be helpful. Okay, okay, now why hackers hack? We all already know that why usually people hack. Maybe sometime just for fun. Okay, show off. We know that usually when we try to hack into a system, we usually show off between our friends and family. Okay, hack a system secretly, notify many people their thoughts. Usually some peoples do this type kind of hacking where they hack into a website. Okay, they change their output or input into what they consider like maybe if I'm having a birthday, or if I'm happy, I will just change to that, like by maybe change the text of the website just for fun. Okay, so sometimes usually why hackers hack to steal the confidential data. Now, why do you think that your confidential data is important to a hacker? Anyone?
So can you repeat?
Why a confidential data is important for a hacker?
He can sell the data to other companies or institute if that's related to the student. For employee, he also can share the data to the company. It depends on the data, which kind of a data he's having.
Okay, if we talk about data of credit card, then do you think that yeah, Devendra?
सर क्रेडिट कार्ड का डेटा जो होता है ना, वो कार्डिंग के लिए जो हैकर्स है, आपका अगर उनको डेटा मिल गया तो वो कार्डिंग के लिए यूज करते हैं, सेल करते हैं कार्ड्स को, डेटा और कार्ड्स को, और इन
Okay.
फ्यूचर आप
Okay, so if we talk about the data of credit card, Devendra said that it can be used for carding. Now, what is carding?
करते हैं।
Uh, yeah, Devendra?
सर कार्डिंग एक जगह होती है जहाँ पे बहुत तरह की जो कार्ड्स है वो अवेलेबल होते हैं, कार्ड का सारा डेटा अवेलेबल होता है और उसमें बैलेंस होते हैं, तो उस कार्ड्स को इलीगल भी तरीके से यूज किया जाता है और उनको इलीगल एक्टिविटी में भी यूज किया जाता है कार्ड।
Okay, anybody else? What is carding? Carding, heard about this term? Carding? It is common nowadays. Anybody?
Cloning.
Cloning. Okay. Okay, so
Same process as like Flipper Zero.
okay, so that's, you can say, okay, Flipper Zero. If we talk about Flipper Zero, okay, let's first talk about the carding. Okay, so usually carding means that we use someone else card. Okay, by card I mean that maybe credit card, debit card, usually credit card. Okay, so they use this card to buy something without acknowledging or without notifying that person that their card is used by hackers. Okay, so when we have credit card information about someone, okay, so we can use their credit card information to buy without their permission. Okay, so let's talk about yeah, so how hackers can use your information. They can use this information by, they can use this confidential data or confidential information to for their own thing. Okay, so when we talk about the confidential data, we don't think that the data we have or the things we usually post online also. Okay, people or hackers usually see things in their own point of view, own things. Okay, when we talk about the password attack or password thing, do you think that they will just write anything else, anything, and they get into your system? They usually gather information. Okay, you usually gather information to get into your system. Okay, how they gather information? Maybe from social medias, maybe from the things you hear. Usually, when we consider writing a password. We usually use password of birth, okay, date of birth, okay. They use techniques like OSINT, open source intelligence, okay. They use different kind of ways or techniques to get into your system, okay, get to know about you. They also use phishing attack. Heard about this thing, phishing attack?
Yes, sir.
What is phishing attack?
We used to send them a link that we create on a Linux to get their address or a detail, to get his photos or other details.
Okay, so Sachin, just this or there's any other ways of phishing? Okay, so phishing can be done on done using social media tools, okay, social medias, using social medias. Okay, first of all, what phishing is, let me just tell you. Phishing is making a fake page, okay, fake maybe page of social medias or fake email, so that okay, so that I will gather information about someone. Now, how this thing work? I will just send you a link. Okay, let me just take example. I'm making a fake page of Instagram login. I will just give you a link. Okay, I will just write. If you want to, if you want to, if you want to increase your followers, okay, click on this link, and you will get 1,000 followers, maybe 500 followers. So in that greed, they will just click on that phishing link, okay. They will write their username and password in a way that they will get more followers, okay. So in these kind of things, when they type their username password, they're actually you can say giving this information to a hacker by phishing attacks, okay. Phishing attacks can be done using social medias by links or maybe on mail, okay. Maybe mail, they can write that I am from this company. If you want to, okay, so from this company, if you want to get into a company, just write your username and password, maybe these kind of things. So okay, so phishing, this thing is phishing. Now hacking process, let's talk about the hacking process. Now if we talk about the hacking process, we don't just hack into a system uh, so easily, okay. There are different scenarios, there are process to hack into a system. The first one is footprinting. Now footprinting is information gathering. There are two ways to get into a system, okay. Now the two ways are active footprinting or passive footprinting, okay. Now active means to gather information with direct interaction from with whom? With our target,
With target.
okay. Now what do you consider as target, or whom do you consider as target? Yeah, anybody, anyone, whom do you consider as target? If you're hacking into a system, let's talk about an organization. Now let's talk about an organization, XYZ organization. Now they are your target, okay. If we're talking about an organization, then that organization is your target. If we talk about a person, if we want to gain information from that person is your target, okay. Likewise, if you want to access into a system, that system will be your target. It's totally considered on the scenario whom you are actually considered as target, okay. So the hacking process, if we're talking about footprinting, if we're talking about footprinting into getting into a system, then footprinting will be what's the IP of the system. You have to know about that IP of the system. If we talk talking about an organization, now footprinting will be maybe getting information from their website, maybe from their LinkedIn, who are the peoples which are working in that company. Okay, if we talk about an individual person, then why we consider that person as a target? Because maybe that person has some valuable information. Okay, so now talking about the footprinting is gathering information about our target. Okay, now there are two types of or two ways of footprinting. The first one is like active footprinting, and the second second type is passive. In active, we are actually do direct interaction with our target, and in passive, we don't have direct interaction. Now, what this direct interaction without direct interaction? Actually, interaction means that
Having conversation with that person on social media or on a call or a face to face.
Yeah, if we talk about the direct interaction, yeah, Devendra.
Sir, direct interaction is social engineering is best option. Social engineering, direct interaction.
Okay, so then what is passive, Devendra?
Uh, Passive, sir, through social media. Social media and सर एक वेबसाइट है जिसमें सारी निकल जाती है, उसका मुझे नाम याद नहीं आ रहा है, वो कुछ फ्रेमवर्क है.
Okay, so if we talk about the active, we have actually direct interaction. We actually talk with that person. Okay, we have face to face. If we talk about the direct interaction, so we actually talk with that person. Okay, we usually ask question in a way that they will give you more information about that. Gather more information about that person. If we talk about a passive way, in passive way, we actually go to their social media account, maybe follow that person, maybe gather more information from their social medias. Okay, now we don't consider that's how from social media we can gather information, but we can actually get usually people who are more active on social media. They actually show that where they are right now, uh, which artist they are listening to. Okay, maybe if they click their photo or click their photo with their family members, you can gather information about who are living with that person. Okay, so these kinds of information can be gathered by passive footprinting. Okay, now let's talk about the scanning. Okay, let's talk about scanning, the second process. Now scanning means that scanning has there are different type of scanning. Usually if we talk about scanning, there's network scanning, or you can say vulnerability scanning. Okay, so if we talk about the network scanning, we actually scan the IP address of a system or of a domain. So usually in scanning, we actually are see if there's any open ports or not. Okay, why we'll see that there's some open port or not? Because if we have a open port, then there's, you can say, a sign that we try to gather more information or get more information from that. Okay, when we find any vulnerability in a open port, we try to gain into that open port. Okay, gain into that system. Maintaining access. Usually why we maintain access? Because sometimes when we get into information, we get into a system, usually we don't find any valuable information in that particular time. Okay, so we gather more information afterward. To see more information, we actually maintain access of the system. Okay, now the solutions. Can anybody give me some solutions about how we can secure a system, how we can secure our confidential data?
Keeping a strong password with number, digit.
Yeah, alphanumeric or their so many other different ways to
Yeah.
secure our data, so that we don't get brute force, or somebody doesn't brute force our our password. Okay, nice. Some other ways. Don't use any third party websites to download an application. Okay, if it's not Google Play Store, then be cautious. You can use websites like VirusTotal. Has anybody heard about this website, VirusTotal?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me just show you. Now, VirusTotal.com. Okay, now VirusTotal is actually a website where you can actually put your file or any URL. Okay, so that it will search for any URL. Let me just put a file. Let's take example of this TCP dump. This is a file. Okay, now it will just check for hash, and it just detects as it will send you to different vendors to see if there's any vulnerability. Okay, if there's any malware, but you can see that there's no malware in this application. Okay, so you can use VirusTotal to scan any file, any application, APK, so that when you download that application into your system, that system will not get attacked, okay, or compromised. Okay, same way, if you get any URL, a phishing URL, you can just scan that URL on this VirusTotal website. Okay, now okay, any other solutions? Also, don't access open Wi-Fi's on. Okay, so don't access Wi-Fi or personal Wi-Fi's on public places. Okay, because usually there's chances of MITM, man in the middle attack. Someone can be doing a man in the middle attack, or maybe watching. Okay, or maybe someone just get your information, uh, usually like maybe username and password. If you're not using a secure port, by
So
secure
it
port,
is just like a sneaking method.
Sir, can I answer?
yes, you yes.
Yeah.
Okay, wait,
If
wait.
we use a public Wi-Fi, then via Wireshark, people can get our Insta ID or any kind of a ID that we log in on a public Wi-Fi. That hacker can get the details.
Okay,
On
so
Wireshark, he can
okay,
snip that.
okay, we can sniff through Wireshark. We can sniff any data,
Yeah,
but
on
the
public
reality is,
Wi-Fi.
if we are using HTTPS, it totally depends on which port or protocols you are using. If you are using HTTP, then you will get hacked, because in HTTP, uh, if you're using HTTP, then your username password is not secure. Okay, it will be easily seen. Okay, because that data is not encrypted. Okay, so if we talk about it, HTTPS, that S is means secure, and by secure is by using SSL certificates. Okay, so that's why don't use open Wi-Fi's or on public places, because there are chances of MITM, there's chances of sniffing. Okay, so that's why. So use HTTPS and secure ports and protocols. Now let's talk about what we can do if we got hacked or compromised. Okay, there are chances you can just shut down or turn off the system so that that person wouldn't get any connection, because usually they have a connection. Okay, usually they are connected to your system somehow. So usually you can just shut down or turn off the system, disconnect the network. Why we are saying that disconnect the network? Because somehow they are actually connected to your system, somehow they are actually connected uh, to your system. That's why how they are communicating. Okay, restore the system with backup or restore all programs. Why? Because the chances that you are hacked or your system is compromised by an application, by a application which is maybe running on background or which is downloaded maybe on background. So, okay, so that's why that they're saying that that we say to restore the system or reset your system or just restore all programs. Okay, connect the system to the network. Okay, connect the system to, usually if we talk about a VM or these kind of thing, we can use their systems. Okay, or if your system is compromised, then you are seeing different type of things like maybe some weird behaviors. You can also contact the police, the cyber cells, that maybe someone is hacking into my system, maybe someone is having my access. Okay, so you can you can contact the police. Now how we can prevent hacking? I'm not saying that we can totally prevent a computer hacking or a computer hack, because if hackers are uh, because if we have upgradations for all the softwares of the antivirus, hackers also has their own means to hack into a system. They know what are the vulnerabilities in our system. Okay, so we can easily get hacked, but we should be secure in our uh, on our own. Okay, so we can also use strong password, we can use firewalls. Okay, and we can have updated operating system. We can see that our operating system is updated, our applications are updated, because there are chances if we are using an outdated application, if we are using outdated operating system, there are chances we can get hacked. Okay, okay, or else you stop using internet. That will not be helpful. Okay, because we can't stop using internet. Okay, so that's all for a PPT. Now let's talk about the doubts you have. Okay, guys. Okay, one by one. Let me just first of all just show you the modules. Okay, the syllabus.
Sir, please show the modules of the 1-year diploma course.
Yeah, I'm showing that. Just give me a minute.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are 12 modules in Craw security, and I'm just explaining all the 12 modules. And in between, if anybody has any doubt, they can ask. Okay, let's start with the first thing, which is basic networking. Now, why we need networking in cybersecurity? Because if you access into a system, if you get into a system, usually we should know how's the background background things are working. Okay, now which ports and protocols are just give me a minute. Okay, so if we talk about the basic networking, why we need basic networking or networking, because when you access to a system, you should know what ports or protocols maybe they are running, because in cybersecurity, in ethical hacking, we also do scanning. Okay, I think in the PPT I will just cover that. In scanning, you do network scanning and ports vulnerability scanning. When we do port scanning, you should know what port or protocol that that particular port is used for. Okay, so you should know about basic networking, and the most prominent uh, thing is TCP IP models and OSI model, which is usually asked in interview. If we talk about VAPT, if we talk about cybersecurity, they will ask you about OSI model and TCP IP model. So you should know about how these models work, what are the different type of layers, and what is encapsulation, decapsulation, what is how our data is transferred. Okay, so these kind of things are usually seen. And if we talk about the TCP and UDP, okay, there's this term called three-way handshake. What is three-way handshake? How data is transferred? How what is the flow of data? Okay, so usually these kind of things we should know about in basic networking. Okay, and ports and protocol, we usually learn about port and protocols. And also in the practical part, if we talk about practical part, if we talk about practical part, usually we will talk about the router and switches. If we talk about the practical part, in Cisco Packet Tracer, we will see how our router work and how switches work, because usually in an organization, or if we talk about companies, they will tell you that to configure our router or switch. So you should know how a router and switch work, how we configure a router, how we configure switches. That will be teached in basic networking. Now, talking about Linux Essential. In Linux Essential, we talk about Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, we usually learn Linux in Linux Essential. We in Linux Essential we usually do the Linux basic of Linux is in Red Hat. That's a different kind of OS apart from Linux. Okay, if you talk about the Red Hat Enterprise, now enterprise means that it is considered in organization, big companies, as Red Hat is considered as a server. Usually Red Hat is used for server making. Okay, making server. So if we talk about the career plan in cybersecurity in system administrator, you should know about Red Hat. Okay, because Red Hat is used as is a basic of system administrator, because usually server creation and these things usually done in through Red Hat. Okay. Okay, in Linux Essential, you learn about what are different types of commands. Okay, what are the different files, because when we talk about usually when we talk about Linux is not as it is different from Windows, because in Windows we have GUI, in Linux we have CLI, command line. Okay, so in Linux we will learn about what are the different kind of different commands, and how these commands are working, what are different commands we will use. Okay, what command is used to view a file, what command is used to make a directory. Okay, so we will learn all this in Linux Essential. If we talk about Python programming, Python is considered as is usually in top 3 languages, easy to learn, and it is versatile. How I can say it's versatile or flexible, because it can be used for in data analyst, making web development, and also in gaming. Okay, to write codes about gaming. And also, if we talk about Python, why Python is considered in cybersecurity, because usually there are 3 scripting languages which is used in which is used in this cybersecurity ethical hacking tools. There are 3 languages we use, which first one is Python programming, then second one is Golang, and the third was in bash scripting. Okay, so if you know Python, you can also make your own tools from Python, and you can also modify the tools if you know about Python, or you can just change the do the modification of modification in a tool. Okay, so after that Python programming, we have ethical hacking. Okay, so in ethical hacking, we usually learn all about that's a basic. Okay, in ethical hacking, we learn all the things in basics. What are the basic? What are the we usually learn about hacking? Okay, but all the topics, all the things which are there, it is in basic, because afterwards we have the advancement in the topics. Okay, if we talk about ethical hacking, we will learn about basic of ethical hacking. What are the different type of hackers? What is deep web, dark web? Then we see footprinting. Okay, footprinting means information gathering, network scanning, enumerating user information in a port. Okay, system hacking, how we can hack into a system, maybe using password. Okay, or maybe bypassing into a system. We talk about malwares, what are different type of malwares and how malware work. We use sniffing. Right now we talked about Wireshark. Okay, MITM. We will learn about sniffing. We will learn about how we can do MITM. Okay, so this one thing that we should also know, that when we talk about the attack part, we also talked about defensive part. We will learn about the attack and the defense. We also do the all the things we will do about we will do in practical, that how MITM works, how we can perform MITM. Then we will talk about social engineering. Social engineering means gathering information. There are techniques. Now techniques means that when I'm writing a password, maybe someone just stand behind me and see the password. That's considered as shoulder surfing. Okay, if we all talking about some security information, maybe some security upgradations, if someone just heard our information, if we if someone heard my our talkings, or if our conversation, then it's called eavesdropping. That's techniques. Okay, and if we talk about the toolkit, social engineering toolkit, the toolkit one is phishing. Okay, we will learn about what phishing is and how phishing works. DOS and DDoS. In DOS and DDoS, we usually talk about what DOS is, denial of service, because we send too many data or packet into a system, into a website, so that their system gets slowed down or their system could crash. Okay, and from module 15 to 19, it's all about website. How website work, what are cookies, what are tokens, how cookies work, what is a session, what is guest cookie, what is admin cookie, what is user cookie. We will learn about these things. What is SQLi? Okay, SQLi is actually a vulnerability in a website. How to find how to do SQLi manually and through automated tool called SQL map or SQL map. Okay, then we will talk about what's OWASP top 10, how OWASP top 10 work, how we can hack into a web server. Okay, what are web server, how web server works, what is Apache, what is Tomcat. Okay, we learn about web servers. Then we will learn about hacking into a wireless network. Okay, hacking into a wireless network, Wi-Fi hacking. Then we will come to IDS, IPS, firewall, and honeypots. These are actually used for as these all are used as security tools. Okay, these can be hardware, this can be software. IDS, IPS, you guys already know about firewalls, but when we talk about firewall in our system, firewall is just used as a preventive systems to secure your data. But if we talk about firewalls is used in organization, their data is confidential. Okay, so no organization wants that their data will be compromised or the system or server will get compromised. Okay, so IDS, IPS, firewall, we will learn what IDS is, what IPS is, how firewalls work, and what is honeypot. Okay, then come to cryptographic. Now cryptography is a very important topic if you consider giving interview in VAPT or any penetration testing, because they will ask you all about cryptography. Now, in cryptography, we learn about encoding, encryption, hashing, what encryption is, different type of encryptions. Okay. Now, and what is hashing, how we can crack an hash, how we can decrypt any encrypted data. Okay, so we will learn about cryptography. Penetration, in the penetration testing basic, we will know about how we can do a vulnerability assessment. We will know about tools like we will know about tools like Nikto, Equinetics, okay, Nessus. These Equinetics and these Nessus and Equinetics are actually organization tools. Okay, they are used in organization, they're used in companies, so that will be helpful in your resume. Okay, that will just give an upgradation in your resume. Now, how we can hack a mobile in mobile app hacking, we will learn about mobile hacking. IoT, Internet of Thing, Internet of Thing. Actually, if we talk about Internet of Thing, all the device or gadgets which are connected to network. Okay, like smart TVs, smart watches, these kind of things are actually connected to our mobile phones. Okay, so this is called IoT hacking. In cloud security, we will learn about what service model is, what deployment model is, how cloud work. Okay, nowadays we know about cloud in Google Cloud, or you can say Google Drives. We are actually uh, giving we're actually storing our data into the cloud of Google, and we can access this cloud from any place or anywhere else. Okay, so what cloud security is, how we can what cloud is, and also learn about AWS, which is actually a cloud server, or you can say services from Amazon. Okay, AWS is actually Amazon Web Services. Okay, so this is all about ethical hacking. Now, ethical hacking is actually a basic of different other modules. Like if we talk about the web part from module 15 to 19, we just learn about how website work, what are the different type of vulnerabilities in a website. Okay, if we talk about IoT hacking, we will just learn about what IoT hacking is, but afterward there is advancement to it. Okay, we will learn about this particular topic in advance. Okay, in advanced penetration testing, if we talk about the APT or advanced penetration testing, you will learn how we can access into a system, how we can do penetration testing in network or a system. Okay, in advanced penetration testing, we will learn about what Kali Linux is. Okay, getting comfortable. Kali Linux means that we will know about different type of commands which is used in advanced penetration testing, how to exploit into a system, how we can do antivirus evasions. Okay, so talking about buffer overflow exploitations, how we can do exploit, and also privilege escalation. Now, privilege escalation is very important because if you are going for OSCP, or if you are going for interview, they will tell you to hack into a system, maybe do CTF and do privilege escalation. Okay, so privilege escalation is going from normal user to root user. Okay, so we will learn about the privilege escalation in Windows or privilege escalation in Linux. Then we will learn about password attacks. We will know how we can do password attacks, and we will know about Active Directory. Okay. And afterward, advanced penetration testing, we usually do practicals in TryHackMe, a platform like TryHackMe, Hack the Box, or different platforms like Hub Machines. Okay. If we talk about cyber forensics usually means to retrieve data, okay, or recover data from different operating system or different uh, things like Windows, Linux, network, how we can get logs of that systems. Okay. Afterward, we have web application security. In web application security, we will learn about how website work in depth. Okay, in depth, we will know about web application security, and we also know what are the different type of vulnerabilities this if you sing CSRF, SSRF, XSS, IDOR, okay, SSTI, these are different type of vulnerabilities. We will know about what is this vulnerability, how this vulnerability works, and how we can find a vulnerability, and also the mitigations of that vulnerability.
Sir, hello.
Yes, Ayush.
Sir, just I want to know that after 1 month we get the certificate after examination complete. Huh?
In 1 month, you're talking about the module like
Topic.
web.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, usually these modules don't take 1 month. It usually take 1.5 or 2 months to clear. Okay, so it will take time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and you also get a module certificate. Like if we talk about web application security, you will get web application security certificate from Craw, or you can also opt for global certificates. Okay. And if we talk about the global certificate, you have to buy from your own self. You have to buy a voucher for global certificates. Okay. Now the next part is, okay, if any doubt till now, if you have any doubt, you guys, you can ask till web application security. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
Oh, no, you continue.
Okay. If we talk about mobile application security, usually in the mobile application, we usually found vulnerabilities in the mobile application. Okay. If we talk about the mobile application security, we are actually not talking about the mobile as a hardware part. We are actually finding vulnerability in the mobile application. Okay. That first thing should be cleared. And then we talk about the mobile application, because in the mobile application, there are two ways to find a vulnerability. Okay. The first one is static analysis, and the second one is dynamic analysis. In the static analysis, we actually find vulnerabilities in the source code. Okay, finding vulnerability in the source code. But if we talk about the dynamic analysis, we usually do is we run the application in the real time. Okay, and find the vulnerabilities maybe from the response or request we are actually getting. Okay, so in the mobile application security, we use different tools. Like the first one is Burp Suite. Okay, we use APK tool to decompile or reverse a application. We use automated tool like MobSF, that's mobile security framework. We also use browser, which is actually a framework to find vulnerabilities. Okay, and we also learn how to find a vulnerability in an application if that application is having a root detection. Okay, some website or okay, some application also have this root detection. Okay, so how to bypass that root detection using objection and FIDO. So we will learn all about mobile application security. Okay, in that part. And also we will learn about the iOS penetration testing a little bit. Okay, how iOS penetration, how iOS architecture work, and how to find a vulnerability. Okay, so that is all about mobile application security. Now the IoT pen testing is uh, what is IoT and how IoT works, and what are the different ports and protocols which is used in IoT, and how we can pen test devices. Okay, the IoT devices. The next thing is endpoint security. Now in the endpoint security, we learn how to secure a network. Okay, there are different ways to secure out system. Like we can use antivirus, how to implement an antivirus, how we can use two-factor authentication, how two-factor authentication is used. DLP, we learn about DLP, what DLP is, data loss prevention, and how we can implement these things. Okay, SIM framework, APT attacks. APT is actually APT is advanced persistent threat. Okay, how we can find an advanced persistent threat, how MITRE framework works, what EDR, MDR, and the third thing is XDR. Okay, how EDR, what EDR, MDR, and XDR are, and how these things are actually useful in an organization. Because if we talk about endpoint security, it is all about securing a network. Okay, so we will learn about the different type of detections and responses, and also what are the tools, like maybe Splunk, SAM tools, okay, SAM framework, okay, these types of Radari, force point DLP, force point, okay. So we will learn about these things in endpoint security. Now the next is AWS. Now AWS is actually all about cloud. Now, if we talk about AWS Associate, in the AWS Associate, we will learn about how to make a server in cloud. Okay, AWS is also all about Amazon Web Services. Now, if we talk about the AWS Associate, it's all about making an server in the cloud in the Amazon. Okay, and after that, if we are making a server in a cloud, we usually have to secure that server. In AWS security, we will learn all the techniques or all the ways to secure out that system or server, which is made in cloud. Okay, now these are the 12 modules which usually is in cross security. If you guys have any doubt, you can ask. You can just ask doubt. Anyone?
ये सर ये 12 मॉडल्स का फी कितना होगा टोटल?
देखिए, जब आप जब आप एक तरह से एनरोल करेंगे या फिर आप जब इसके लिए पूछेंगे, तो आप ये चीज़ आपने यूजली आप काउंसलर से पूछ सकते हैं इसके बारे में।
हर एक मॉडल का अलग अलग होता है क्या?
जी हाँ, मतलब टोटली डिपेंड कि आप कितना मॉड्यूल्स को करना चाहते हैं। लाइक अगर आप 12 मॉड्यूल्स को करना चाहते हैं या फिर 6 मॉड्यूल्स को करना चाहते हैं या फिर किसी एक पर्टिकुलर मॉड्यूल को करना चाहते हैं।
ओके,
You can actually get all the details from Craw Security. That's craw.in. Okay, you can
Okay.
visit the webs.
Can you share all the models details for chat?
It is this
जो PDF
okay, this PDF is actually on website of craw.in. Okay, you can just go to craw.in.
Okay.
Okay, you will you can also ask for demo. Okay, you can also ask for demo class. Okay, just right. Craw. You can see in 1 year diploma. You can ask. You can download brochure. Okay, over that over here, you can see all the 12 modules. Okay, any other doubt? You can ask in chat.
No, sir.
Okay. Give me a minute, Dashna. I will just ask if we can send a recorded version. You are asking about the recording version of this seminar, Dashna. Okay, guys. Dashna, I'm just give me. Okay, so okay, Dashna, if you want demo class, you can just visit the website. Okay, so over there you will be asked to contact with the maybe a counselor. they will arrange the demo class. Okay, about the recording, it will be maybe uploaded on YouTube tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Okay, any other doubt?
No, sir. No any other doubt.
Okay.
So can we
Uh,
leave this session?
yeah, but I think okay. Yes, Ayush, you can leave. If anybody, how to contact you, sir? If we have any doubts, you can just usually you can actually go to the website. You can have conversation with a counselor. They will just get you connected with me. Okay, Darshana. We can't give you contact number. Sorry, Darshana. That would not be possible.
Okay.
बबली मैडम है ना वहाँ पे?
क्या धीरज?
बबली मैडम है ना वहाँ पे?
हाँ धीरज, बबली मैम है.
ओके ठीक है.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So by today I can have demo class, sir. Yeah, you just have to go to the. Let me just show you. If you go to craw.in, I think this is visible. Okay, if you go to this thing, okay, you can just get course detail, or you can also contact us. Okay, that's the number given. You can also arrange a request a demo class. You can you see over here. Okay, you can also chat with Craw Security. They usually they will give you the details. Okay, request. You can also request a demo class, or you can contact it using this number provided in the website. Okay, Darshana. Okay, guys. It's time to finish the webinar. If you guys have any doubt, you can ask, or else that's all for today. Okay, no doubt. Anyone? No, sir. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for attending the webinar. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.